So I did a little research and I learned about this thing called a hot wire foam cutter. And I think that this thing could come in really handy for me. I think what it's going to help me with is to produce my prototypes a lot quicker, get my ideas out of my mind and into reality a lot quicker. I'm not going to have to waste any wood in the process, and styrofoam is actually a really inexpensive material that I can get my hands on to practice making all sorts of jigs and other types of art pieces. And so far, this is looking very promising. So you can probably kind of think of this thing like a scroll saw. Anything you can use a scroll saw for in woodworking, you can basically do all the same things with this thing, but with styrofoam. And that means your options are pretty much limitless when it comes to designing different things. And you can also make some awesome jigs to go with it, which actually, I guess you probably can't do this with a scroll saw, but this is going to help me to cut some straight lines for making 3D stars. And there's another part of the jig. I still need to set up this part here. So that's going to be pretty cool, I think. All right, so let's test this bad boy out. I've got it set up by the garage door. I've got a little fan over here that I'll turn on. And yeah, in the future I will be doing this outdoors. I just want to do a little demonstration here for now. So I'm not too comfortable teaching electronics, but I can show you what I've done here. And later I'm going to open this up and show you the inner workings. But for now, what I've got going on, this is a 12 volt 5 amp DC power supply. Pretty basic there. I got that on Amazon. It was pretty cheap actually. I'll leave a link in the description. So that goes into this box here and powers this box, and this box is what I'm using to control the temperature. I've got an on-off button here. I guess I should move that closer for you guys. On-off button there, and I think this is a motor speed controller actually, but people use this for this sort of thing as well. So whether it's the proper thing or not, I'm not sure, but I have seen videos of people using this, so that's why I did it. Like I said, I'm not teaching you guys this stuff. This is just what I've done, so definitely do your own research. And then I've got some wire that I've got connected to this thing here, which is actually nichrome wire. So that's a special wire used for heating elements, and it has a resistance to it, so it can actually get nice and hot when you run electricity through it. And because it's DC power, it's technically should be safe. It's considered low voltage, and yeah, it's not like AC electricity coming from an outlet or something that would probably fry me. All right, so I'll go ahead and turn this on, and I'm going to turn this to the max and turn the lights out just so you can see how hot this wire gets here. So you can see it is nice orange reddish hot there. So very nice hot wire. And actually, it doesn't need to be that hot to cut styrofoam. So I'm going to turn that all the way down here. And that should be plenty hot. Yeah, so why don't I try it out with this thing here. Be prepared to be amazed. Look at that. Extremely fast and easy to cut. This is just half-inch styrofoam. You can cut it any way you like too. Can't cut wood that fast. Anyways, let's try with a bigger piece. I am curious because I've only done like smaller bits here. I've got this big piece of styrofoam here. It's probably about 3 inches thick. On the lowest setting here, with a fan blowing towards this, so I'm assuming that cools down the wire a little bit. And it's freezing outside, by the way. All right, let's see what happens when I try to cut this. Wow. Very nice. Very cool, like butter. And like I said earlier, anything you do on a scroll saw, you can do on this thing, right? So you can cut out all sorts of shapes. And I think this is going to come in real handy for testing out new designs that I want to do. Nice and quick too, right? So easy, quick, no dust, no noise. And if I do really like the design or the project that I'm working on, then what I can do is make it out of wood. Let's do a couple more cuts here while we're at it. I mean, this is pretty cool. This is all actual speed, nothing sped up there, right? So, pretty neat, right? I didn't even know this tool existed until like maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. I started seeing people do random things on Instagram, and I was like, oh my god, what is that? People build all sorts of cool dioramas and stuff with this stuff. The other thing that I wanted to try with this is different finishing techniques. You guys saw that at Christmas time. I ended up making a 5-point 3D star out of cardboard. And when I found out about the styrofoam thing, I kind of wanted to try something with plaster or maybe like a stucco finish. Another thing I could probably do is like a fiberglass finish for an outdoor 3D star, which would be kind of cool. Anyways, those jigs that I showed you earlier, they're going to help me cut all the pieces for a 3D star, and that's what I'll be making a full video on. All right, so I think that was probably a pretty decent demonstration there. What else can I try to cut? Well, how about an extra thick zigzag thing? I don't know. I can also make a handheld version of this and use it for sculpting if I wanted to sculpt some things, and then maybe make some molds. Damn, look at that. I hope my lighting's okay right now. I don't normally film like this, but yeah, this is pretty cool. Very smooth, it's not burning. There's hardly any smoke, as you can see. That little fan is actually helping quite a bit. Yeah. All right, so why don't I'll put this back on my workstation there, and I'm gonna open this up and show you how I connected everything. Look how clean those cuts are. I mean, that is just too cool. I'm obviously nerding out here, but I've just never used this thing before, and I guess I'm a little excited. How's the lighting? Can you see me okay? I thought I'd take a moment to thank all my supporters on Patreon. It's going really well on there, actually. My channel really dies down on YouTube in January, and just having a little bit extra revenue from Patreon is awesome. Awesome. Every little bit counts, so really appreciate it, and so thank you guys. And yeah, if there's enough interest on this thing, I'd be willing to drop some plans, but we'll see how it's received. Some of my videos do really good, and some of them... So this is what the inside looks like. Nothing too fancy here. I use 2.5-inch stock here and 1.5 over here. I put a 45-degree angle brace there, which makes that quite solid. I ended up putting a 2x4 here just to act as a spacer to bring the arm back a little bit more, to give me a little bit more clearance. I don't know if that's really necessary, but I did it anyways. You can pretty much make this any size you want. And I'll just measure mine out here for you. Mine is 16 inches by 17. And the platform for the top, I made sure to make it a little bit bigger than the base, so I had some overhang so that I could clamp on some C-clamps pretty much anywhere I like. And this comes in very handy for clamping on jigs or fences in pretty much any position I need. And for making prototypes, It's pretty important. And by the way, you can actually buy foam cutters, but they cost a couple $100. My entire build costs less than $30. I'll try to do a price breakdown later on. But yeah, all the parts were pretty cheap. And actually, when you order certain parts, you end up getting a package of 5. So if I take that into consideration, it's definitely cheaper than $30 to make this thing. All right, so I think that covers the structure. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. And I've been going back and forth here on video, off camera as well, trying to figure out how to explain this setup to you. I think I may as well just show you. It might make more sense up close. Let me get the camera here for you. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that a little bit better. I actually decided to unhook everything, and I think I'm going to reconnect everything, and it'll probably make more sense to you guys. So up here, I've got a hanger bolt. That's just one of these things here. That goes in here. I bolted that in there. Nothing fancy, but very strong connection there. Over here, I've got 1/4-inch carriage bolts. I decided to stick to just basic hardware, so if you guys wanted to make one of these, you can find the parts nice and easy. I guess we'll start with the connectors to the wire. I ended up making my own little copper washers here. You don't have to do this. At first I just had the wire wrapped around the bolt and tightened on with a nut. And that seemed to work just fine as well. But I figured if I was going to keep this around for a while and use it a lot, I may as well just make my own. So this is quite nice. Slides on here. The wire, I got some thick gauge wire from an old space heater, so it's I think it's 18 gauge wire actually, yeah. So pop those on these bolts over here, and put a nut on there to keep them in place. Nice and simple. There we go. And let's take a look at this thing here. So I've got a spring attached to a bolt, and then I've got my nichrome wire attached to the bolt, and it will attach to the top over here eventually. But you actually do need a spring because you need something to add tension to the nichrome wire. Because when nichrome wire gets hot, it expands quite a bit. And if you don't have a way to kind of absorb that expansion, you'll lose tension in the wire and it'll get pretty floppy and you won't get accurate cuts. Now you can buy these springs at the hardware store for about $1. I recycled this one. I had it on something else, so that came in handy. I didn't feel like spending $15 to buy a box of 100 of them on Amazon, so that's why I won't have a link for this, but just go to a hardware store, get a spring. This one's about, well, let me measure it here just to be accurate. Whoops, whoa, whoa, whoa. 2 inches long. All right, so I basically designed this so that, let me just zoom in here. I get one end on this bolt here, stretch the spring a little bit, and wrap the wire over this bolt. I make sure to hold the tension here, and I bring it up over this bolt here, and all I gotta do now is put a wing nut on here. And there we go. Got a nice tension on there. Now, one thing that's super important about this whole setup is getting your wires square left and right and forward and backwards. So what's neat about this system is that I can actually add washers in here if I want to, and down here to adjust the wire front and back. And to adjust it left to right, let me just zoom in here now. I drilled a little slot in the base here, so I'm able to move this bolt to the left or to the right about 1 centimeter. and adjust it accordingly if I need to. So this is the power supply that I've used here. Seems to be working just fine. This is a 5 amp. I tried a 2 amp. The 2 amp seemed a little bit too weak, but I think it probably still would work. But yeah, 12 volt 5 amp, and originally I had connected these together like this, and that worked out quite fine, except for I didn't have temperature control, so it just went to the hottest setting right away. And you know, I kind of wanted to be able to dial it down a little bit because I don't want it to be too hot. The other thing that I should mention is I did use a nichrome wire calculator, and that helps me to calculate how much volts and amps are being used by the wire based on the gauge and how long it is. Based on those calculations, this power supply should be okay for this 28 gauge wire. And now I did end up making this thing so that I could control the temperature a little bit. So basically the power goes in here, goes through to this motor speed controller. There's a switch for it as well. And then it comes out here, and this is what I plug into the nichrome wire system here. And then I've got power to the wire. So I'll leave some Amazon links for all the parts that I've used here. Again, do your research. I'm not trained in this stuff. I'm just showing you because this is what I did for me. It's not necessarily a how-to, right? So yeah, anyways, do your due diligence there. I think I'm going to go ahead and attempt to make a star out of this scrap styrofoam I have here. I did go out and buy some thicker styrofoam, which I'm going to use in my next video, but I just wanted to practice on this for now, and I wanted to practice using my new jigs here that I made as well. So I was actually pretty impressed with how well this worked. As you can see, I'm cutting through the styrofoam like butter here. I am going to have to talk a little bit more about these jigs in my next video. Otherwise, this video is just going to get too long. But yeah, we're definitely on the right track here. Now, one of the benefits I forgot to mention earlier is that styrofoam is waterproof. And this is going to help me quite a bit when I'm experimenting with plaster of Paris and mortar mix. So there you go. I got a nice, easy, fast way to make these now. It's quiet, it's clean, it's waterproof. And I think this tool is also going to come in handy for all sorts of different designs and art projects. So stay tuned for that next video. I'll be making a more in-depth video on specifically the 5-point star and all the jigs that I used to make this. Thanks for watching, guys. Support me on Patreon, and I'll see you next time.